right, a Fox News alert, big story. Brand new allegations against Judge Brett Kavanaugh that now threaten to derail his Supreme Court confirmation. This, as a new Fox News poll shows, a record number of voters oppose that nomination. You see the numbers there. So is Judge Kavanaugh already guilty in the court of public opinion? And is there anything credible here, or is this just trying to keep this guy from getting into the Supreme Court? Here to debate that is author of How Do I Tax Thee, Kristin Tate, and also former Democratic leader of the Ohio State Senate, Capri Cafaro. Ladies, thanks for coming on this morning.
Morning.
Kristin, we'll start with you. We had one accuser going back a number of years, had no proof. It was one thing. Now there's potentially two, maybe three accusers in this. What do you think about the chances of this man getting onto the Supreme Court at this point?
Well, we don't know yet, but in terms of public opinion, what's happened here to Kavanaugh is totally unfair. This is a nearly flawless candidate with an impressive track record in the legal world. But because of the Democrats and the media, the majority of Americans now don't even want him confirmed. The Democrats are just shamelessly wrapping themselves in feminism to try and derail this impeccable candidate. And the way that this has been handled really suggests that the Democrats' priority here is not women or, you know, rape culture. It's just taking down Trump's nominee. If they cared about women, Dianne Feinstein would have taken action immediately after learning of the original accusations against Kavanaugh. Instead, she sat on those accusations for weeks, and they weren't brought up until right before his confirmation vote. Yeah. Meanwhile, the left continues to be silent on Keith Ellison, the DNC head, who's being accused of domestic abuse. Bottom line, the Me Too movement is being used as a political tool by the left to derail Trump's agenda, including Kavanaugh's confirmation.
Caprici makes some pretty good points there. What's your response?
Well, first of all, I've actually agreed with two of the things that Kristin said. Number one, I think that Dianne Feinstein really handled this poorly and has politicized something that shouldn't have been politicized. And secondly, Keith Ellison, I think, is, getting preferential treatment within my own party because of his leadership role in the DNC, and that's absolutely unacceptable. That being said, look, I think that there's also political timing here with the second accuser, but now it is out there, and everyone needs to be heard. I think the question now becomes for the members of the Senate Judiciary Committee. We just went through the fact that Dr. Ford is now, going to be testifying. They struck that deal on Thursday, I believe, at 10 in the morning. That's going to happen. So are they now going to hear from this new accuser from Yale? If not, why not? Is this going to, for example, give more cover to red state Democrats to vote no, or some of the swing Republicans that, are on the fence, like a Jeff Flake or, Susan Collins, for example. So it becomes so much more complicated now. Yeah. The issues are out there. They have to be dealt with, Kristin, and they have to be vetted.
Over to you. I mean, the people that are still defending Kavanaugh, and there are a lot of them, is the thinking that this is, if they call this a smear campaign, is the thinking that these three women are all just inventing this story? If there are three, and it sounds like there are at this point, there's two that we know of. What do you think?
Well, we don't know what happened, and we probably never will. But right now, there is no evidence backing up these allegations.
Yeah, if you have three different people, that's when it starts getting a little bit, one person, it could be a mistake, it could be something like that. Three, it starts to sound a little bit iffy.
Well, we're going to hear what everyone has to say. Now, in terms of the second allegation, the New Yorker wasn't even able to confirm that Kavanaugh was at the party in question. Yeah. This accuser didn't come forward until a period of time consulting with a Democratic attorney. There are a lot of different things at play here. Of course, the women might be telling the truth, but we also can't allow a man's career and reputation to be completely ruined based on allegations for which there's just no evidence or proof.
And Capri, we're going to give you the last word. You can't prove any of this. Some of these allegations go back 30, 40 years. How do you prove this?